iz Srbije, to su Odiseja, Šprik, Arete, Helix i Kontrast. Tako da vam se još jednom zahvaljujemo u ime svih izdavača što ste sada ovde, hteli ili ne hteli. Mi smo na ovom festivalu predstavili 3 dobitnika nagrade. Valida Nahana sa Malte, koji je i sada opisala vam, Kalju Papadaki, koji ste mogli da slušate malo ranije danas, autorku iz Grčke, i autorku iz Bugarske Inu Balčanovu, koja trenutno nije ovde, bila je sprečena, nažalost, da prisustvuje. Specijalni gost festivala bio je José Luís Peixoto iz Portugala. Sad, ja bih počela sa Darkom, pošto nismo imali prilike da razgovaramo danas na festivalu, pa bih vas prvo zamolila da vi ste dobili nagradu 2017. godine. 16. godine? Pa ne, ali 2017. Dobro. Ne, nije važno. Dakle, da nam kažete nešto više o knjizi, za početak, ako možemo da čujemo o samom nagrađenom romanu.
Uvijek je nezahvalno kad autor sam treba da priča o svojoj knjizi, neću dužiti, pošto nije ovo predstavljanje mog romana. Knjiga se pojavila 2016. Možda i jeste bilo dobro, 2017. više ne znam. Sad, kad sam se podsjetio kad je izašla knjiga, onda to je roman se zove Jaz i kako bih rekao, nekako objedinjuje žanr i glavnotopovsku književnost, čini mi se. Sastoji se iz 2 jednaka dela, praktično iz 2 uvezane novele, koje na neki način možda mogu da stoje zajedno, ali opet sa druge strane čine i neraskidivu celinu. Radnje se delom dešava u Grčkoj, neodređenih 2000-ih, delom se dešava u Kragujevcu, neodređenih 90-ih. I govori o zapravo 2 generacije jedne porodice. Šta znam, kamerna priča o raspadu jedne porodice u kojoj saznajemo nešto možda i u životu u to vreme u Srbiji. Opet, veoma je lična, ne pretenduje na prikazivanje šire slike geopolitičke ili bilo kakve druge, već je svedena na sudbine likova i sadrže nekakve žanrovske elemente koji se mogu podvesti pod fantastične. To je dovoljno.
Sad, pošto smo počeli sa vama, ja bih prvo vas pitala šta je konkretno za vas značila ova nagrada, odnosno na koji način je i da li uopšte uticala na vaše stvaralaštvo i na vašu, pre svega, karijeru?
Pa, to je pitanje na koje će, ja sam prilično siguran, svako od nas ovde i od svih drugih dobitnika ove nagrade odgovoriti isto ili veoma slično. Ne verujem da postoji dobitnik ove nagrade, mada vjerojatno i bilo koje drugi književne nagrade koji će se žaliti na to što je nagrada radila za njega i za njegov rad. I ovde je taj slučaj. U mom slučaju me jeste zapravo dodala na neki način u žižu interesovanja i publike i kritike. Jaz je pre toga nešto već uradio na domaćem polju, ali je činjenica da, kako to da... Pa eto, zanimljiva stvar je da ja zapravo na književnu scenu dolazim iz žanrovskih krugova. I kada dolazite iz tog ugla, glavnotopovska kritika obično nema običaj da vas preterano ozbiljno posmatra, bez obzira na to da li zapravo su čitali vaše knjige ili nisu. I ova nagrada je uradila upravo to, ona je naterala na neki način glavnotopovsku publiku da obrati pažnju na tu knjigu, a možda i onda i na neke druge stvari koje sam pisao. Što meni lično, naravno, odgovara i učinilo mnogo za moj status kao pisao u gradu i zemlji, a s druge strane mi je posebno drago to, kako da kažem, otopljavanje odnosa između žanra i glavnog toka. Zašto mislim danas je poprilično besmisleno zapravo baviti se tim razdvajanjima, ali se to i dalje radi. I ako će ova nagrada ili bilo koja druga ili bilo šta drugo doprineti tome da ljudi prestanu da obraćaju previše pažnje na to da li na koju policiju književije je neka knjiga postavljena, to i čini mi se samo dobra stvar. Tako da kažem, to je dobra stvar za moj roman, ali mislim da je dobra stvar generalno da...
Hvala. Kalja? So I asked Darko, and I will ask you as well. What did this award mean to you? I mean, how did it influence your career? First, regarding recognition in your own country, and then maybe even translations in some other languages.
I think Darko said it all, it seems. Even though I didn't understand a single word, yeah. So yeah, well, you know, it's a great award because it brings recognition, as you said, not only within the country. Even though my first book had gotten an award, the Newcomers Award in Greece, well, this brought a broader recognition. You know, for many people it takes a few years to get that recognition. With the award, it came quite faster. You know. And it's my second book, my first novel actually. The previous one was a short story collection. And I've been traveling for the past 2 years. It's been 2 years, right? A lot. I've been to, I don't know, 10, 12 different countries, speaking about the book and doing events, and it's a continuous, I don't know, I want to say hassle, but it's not hassle really, because it's really tiring sometimes speaking about the same book. I think Darko, with his new book, you know, creates some kind of distance. It's really hard to work on your next book when, you know, these books keeps repeating, because you need to move on. So it's a great thing, but it's a curse as well, because there is so much recognition, you keep thinking about the next book. And then you don't want to do the next step, because it takes a lot of courage, you know, to be out there with a better book, if there's going to be a better book. So, yeah, you say of course, but we doubt things. We're artists, you know, we always doubt about any kind of choice we make. It's part of who we are, and it's necessary in art. So I'd say a blessing and a curse at the same time. Of course, you want your book to be able to reach to other countries, to a wider audience, because it's very important. Don't forget, we're not French or Italian or German or English. We don't have a big audience. It's a small language, Greek, Serbian, you write in Maltese, so basically for us, especially for those small countries where we don't have a big audience, it's really important, this prize, because you get to see what's the feedback from elsewhere, and that's actually what we strive for a bigger audience.
Thank you. Valet, same question for you. So, what did this award mean to you regarding recognition in your country, in Malta, and regarding translations?
Yeah. Dobro večer. I would have loved to continue in such Hrvatski jezik, which I have studied some 35 years ago. But 35 years ago, away from the language is enough to make you forget. So, zaboravio something. So I have to speak in English. So going back to the question, what does recognition locally mean? In my country, I think this is not an easy question for me, because I write in a language which is not my native language. Malta, it's okay, it is my country now since I have their passport. But I am originally from Palestine, and my mother language is Arabic, so the thing is much more complicated. So any type of appreciation, whether locally or internationally, means a lot for me. It means a lot for any writer, by the way. I mean, we don't write for ourselves. We write to share, to expose. It's just like a painting, unless you show it to the other. On the other part, doesn't mean anything unless somebody recognizes it. It's like money. If the other part doesn't accept it, money means nothing. So yes, locally it was a big cherish for me. You know what it means being recognized and celebrated and awarded certain awards in I would say a third part country. Just in my case, because my case is specific. I wrote this book in Maltese, which is a very tiny language. I am really surprised to hear Kalya saying Greece is a small language. Greek is a small language, and the Serb is a small language. We are talking about millions, but what about us? We are less than 500,000. Less than 500,000. And if you go out of Malta on a boat, 10 miles, then the Maltese is not useful anymore. It's useless. Nobody would understand you. So I don't think it's the size of the language. I think it's the proper work. If the work is good, it will fly alone. It will have wings and fly alone. And this is what happened in my case. I have written this book specifically for Maltese audience, for Maltese readership. But I described that this book sneaked out from Malta to reach other destinations like Europe and I was forced somehow to rewrite it in Arabic, even though it's been given to a translator, professional translator in Beirut, but she couldn't grab the proper feeling because she lived all her life in the United States. And this was a little bit problematic for me because I had to rewrite the book myself. It was meant to be an editing of the book, but I found myself rewriting the book in my own mother language, which I did not intend to write this book for Arab readership. I just wanted to inform my new people in Malta who embarrassed me and who considered me as one of their sons. I wanted to tell my chronicle, my narrative, my story, where I'm coming from, what made me come. So it is a story written in Maltese, but it is a Palestinian story. My book basically, it narrates what happened to Palestinians. So my intention was to tell my fellow Maltese, but as I said, perhaps the work was good and it has wings and it flies out of Malta. Even this language is not known outside, not recognized. And so I deeply believe if you write, even if in a language which only 100 people speaks it, but if the work is good, it will find its way out. So it's the quality. It's the quality of the work, not the language. The language, especially in today's world, the language became secondary, sort of. So I emphasize again about the quality of the work, how profound it is, how the way it can touch the others. At the end of the day, it's about the talent. It's about the talent. Otherwise, everybody is an item, actually.
I see you all know each other. Yeah. So I just want to ask if you read some other awarded authors. Other awarded authors. So the other recipients of this award. Did you? And from any country, other writers who got this award.
We have two here, and yesterday was Ina from Bulgaria.
Yeah, I know you know each other, but did you read any book?
Have you read
Because there is no how do you say, there is no bridge language.
Yeah, I know, not theirs. Any book that got this award.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and which one is your favorite? Can you tell us?
Kalja Papadaki.
They are all, I did not read them all, but what I have read, they are favorite. They are favorite to me. Those available in a language that I understand. Unfortunately, my book is not available in English. That's why I'm very, very, very happy that the first translation appeared in Serbian. It was a little bit sort of, but as I said yesterday, our family, they have a special connection with Serbia since 1966. Some of my brothers graduated from Serbia. One of them is my brother. He is now the ambassador of Palestine. I have another brother who is a chief engineer. He graduated also from Serbia. So we have a history. My family has a special history with, okay, let's say Yugoslavia at the beginning, but now things have changed. So it was a big joy for me that my first translated version of my novel appeared in Serbian language, which means something private for me, something special for me and for my family. I'm really happy.
Kalja, what about you? What about your favorite book from other authors?
Well, you know what? The problem is they haven't been translated into French or Italian. My Italian is not great, or English, so I haven't had the opportunity. Well, I've read this book in Serbian, and I bet it's good. No, just kidding, I don't speak Serbian.
Yeah.
No, but it's quite unfortunate so far. That would have been great if our books had been translated into English, but you know the English language has a really big barrier. I mean, it's only 2% represented of foreign literature in English. So I would disagree with Walid about like books, really good books, being able to fly all over the world. I don't think that's the case. There are shades and gray areas, and some writers of the past, especially American or European at their time, they weren't recognized, and 50 years later, they had their chance. For example, Stoner by John Williams, which is a great book. It took like 60 years for the book to be recognized. So it depends. Sometimes, you know, a touch of luck or a lucky strike, as they say. Sometimes. But of course, he's right about talent makes the world go round and money. And yeah, sometimes you just you're not lucky enough, you know. They have a great saying that. The Jews who managed to get away from and actually were salvated, the pessimists went to New York, the optimists to Auschwitz. So there you go. No, I'm not just saying.
Darko, isto pitanje za vas. Mi imamo sreću da zapravo dosta naših izdavača prevodi dela nagrađena baš ovom nagradom, tako da ste čitali nešto i šta vam se dopalo?
Čitao sam Šajatinca i Lengoldovu. I evo sad čitam, zapravo na pola sam Kalijina romana i to je super, pošto znamo se sa tih gledala i baš me raduje što konačno, nakon što sam upoznao osobu, sad mogu i da zapravo uzmem da čitam nešto. Postoje ti odlomci koji su se nalaze na sajtu nagrade i te odlomke sam čitao, tu ima nekih stvari, nekih dela koje su me zainteresovali. Sad tu već ima i previše, ima mnogo pisaca, postoji nešto nagrađenih pisaca, sumno niko neće prolaziti kroz sve to da bi našao eventualno nešto što ga zanima. Ja sam naravno najviše istraživao ljude koje sam upoznao. I sad sam uzeo i Validovu knjigu, tako da je to sljedeće što ću čitati, ali nisam. Sad moram da razmislim da li je zapravo nešto od toga što sam pročitao od nagrađenih knjiga, mislim da nije, ali ne znam, vidjet ću, mislim, spisak, lista knjiga koje su na čitanju je onako prevelik, tako da nemam pojma. Ali, eto, kažem, na pola sam Kalijine knjige, tako da još i ne znam.
I'm really like it. You really like it. Yeah, no, and I think when it comes to writing, sometimes even without reading somebody's book in another language, you feel there is some kind of vicinity with somebody, that there is some closeness you can't really explain, and if you like similar things, you're on the same basis, most likely you're going to like your work, because you see the depth that comes from within, and there is some, I don't know, relationship.
Could you, Kalja, let's go on with you. Could you recommend some Greek authors to us?
Yeah, if I start, I won't finish.
Yeah, but please skip the antics, we know that.
No, I'm not going to say Hesiodus.
Only contemporary.
No, you see, that's the problem with it. That's why I think the Greek literature is problematic. Because when you talk about Greek, everybody will say, oh, Antigone, or all the great texts. The Odiseya, the Iliad. So it's never about the contemporary stuff, it's all about that past, that great past, and all us being contemporary. We mean nothing to the world. Hopefully this is going to change, and it started changing with the crisis. Any kind of crisis puts you in focus. It's a great thing if you're an artist. You might even get the Nobel. But it's bad for the people and society. So yeah, there is a new generation of great novelists and short storytellers right now in Greece, and I think that stems from people who manage to travel abroad, see the world, and bring a new understanding and new focus on all things. So it's in a way it's some kind of feedback and some kind of injection of a new world and reality, I suppose. I can say names, but...
Yeah, give us names.
Okay, so there is Demosthenes Papamarkos with his Yann, Yannis Parlavos, but why? I won't stop.
I want to ask you, for example, I read 2 books by Dimitris Sotakis. Am I saying that right? Probably not. Dimitris Sotakis.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you read his books, for example?
Yeah, I read his book. He belongs to a previous generation.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately.
Well, I met him.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He speaks Chinese.
He speaks a little bit of Serbian as well.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Everybody speaks Serbian. Do you see that? Only you are not speaking Serbian.
Nobody speaks Serbian in Greece.
Okay. Marit, you said yesterday that you read a lot of Maltese literature. You said that you read almost everything that was ever written in Maltese. I mean, regarding literature, of course. Can you tell us, maybe recommend something, because we don't have a lot of chance to read Maltese literature in Serbia, because we don't have, we already talked about that, we don't have translators, unfortunately, you know that better than we do. So can you tell us something about Maltese literature and maybe some names, maybe, for the publishers to look up?
Yes, of course, but I would like to add one name to my colleagues. I know he is a bit old now, but I would add Nikos Kazantzakis. And he's the writer of Zorba, by the way, the famous book Zorba. And it is thanks to translation that we knew about him. Yes, please.
That's an amazing story. Okay, Kazantzakis is a great writer. The translations are better than the book.
You think so?
And actually, Kazantzakis got really know abroad, because then the translator did an amazing job, because the books by Kazantzakis are in dialect, really. And some things don't come out. And he wasn't that widely acknowledged. He was with Zorba, but the American translator did an amazing job. And it's one of those examples how a great translator can uplift your work.
Okay, to confirm what you are saying, I have read 2 versions translated to Arabic of Zorba book. One, I immediately, swiftly, instantly fell in love with it. And the other translation, I couldn't bear more than 10 pages. After 10 pages, I threw it away. So, yes, the translation is very, very, very important. So going back to your question, Maltese literature, it's all Maltese literature is relatively recent. I would say have started in the 60s. Because the Romanticism has dominated anything else before. In the 60s, some of the writers rebelled against the traditions. So that, I would say, the beginning. But imagine a country with a population less than, in the 60s, Malta was perhaps 350,000, the whole population. So how many writers you expect from such a small population? So writing the whole, perhaps all what have Maltese written since the 60s till today represent a corner in a library in Serbia or in Greece or whatever. So don't imagine that we have mountains of literature. The writers in Malta, until recently, you could count them on your fingers. And if you want to press me more, I would say that even now, the true writers, not all writers, the genuine writers, true writers in Maltese, still you can count them on your fingers. So it's sort of a big mission, a big task, not only for me, even for my colleagues, how to take our voice further. But to take your voice further, you need to produce a good stuff, a very good stuff. So after living 30 years in Malta and examining everything, I wouldn't say I have scrutinized everything has been written in Maltese, but unfortunately I would still confirm that in 2019 we still have less than 15 genuine writers. The others are sort of intruders, imposing themselves in the scene, or have jumped with a parachute or entered from the window or something like that. But I think anybody with a sense of literature, after 5 pages, could tell you this is literature or not. So we still have it's a long distance to walk in Malta. We still have a milestone distance to walk to put the Maltese literature internationally on the map. I hope I am being, part of this. I hope.
I just have one quick question because we don't have much more time. Yeah, but I need to ask you this because you lived here for a very short time. But did you have a chance to read some of the Serbian writers, maybe?
Of course, I didn't have enough language knowledge to read in Serbian. You mean? But
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in English.
Anything has been translated and came to my hands. Yes, of course. Of course, one of the first books I have read in Serbian is translated, of course. It was written by a journalist who was a very, very intimate friend of my brother, Dobitnica. Dobitnica. He was a journalist. That was the first book I have read in Srpsko-Hrvatski jezik. At that time I could understand, let's say, 70% of the language. But of course, after 35 years, I lost the life touch with the language. I guess I would like to read more about Serbian literature, but we need a good translator. We need a bridge book, sort of.
Okay, thank you. I tako sa vama smo počeli, pa da sa vama završimo. Neću vas pitati da nam predlažete srpske pisce, pošto pretpostavljam da možda zapravo, s obzirom da imam utisak, ne znam, možda grešim, da imam utisak da se čak i u Srbiji više čita prevedena književnost prevedena sa drugih jezika nego naša domaća književnost. Nisam sigurna da li je to moj neki lični utisak ili je to stvarno tačno, ali eto, možete da nam preporučite neke zaista savremene, dakle, pisce srpske, eto, a sa druge strane, eto, možda, ne znam, da li ste čitali nešto samo čisto sumnjam iskreno, ili neke grčke pisce.
Ne, nisam, pa to jeste jedna od poenti ove nagrade, pretpostavljam, da, mislim, šta mi znamo, to što je Kalja rekla, šta mi znamo o savremenoj grčkoj književnosti, vrlo malo, verovatno ništa. I ovo jeste prilika da saznamo nešto. I na isti taj način naša savremena književnost prelazi granice i ide na druge teritorije. To je poenta nagrade i veoma plemenita stvar. I ovdje preporučujete domaće pisce zapravo, ne znam, jel možemo to da shvatimo malo šire, pa da to bude regionalno, to kao srpsko-hrvatski što rečemo. Pa posljednje što sam pročitao je zapravo Damir Karakaš. Mislim, da li njega zapravo treba posebno preporučivati, ali u ovo što je pominjeno večeras, to kao pravi talent, spisateljski talent i sa druge strane ljudi koji pišu. Nisu dve iste stvari, jer mnogi danas pišu i zapravo imam utisak da se često shvata da sve što staviš na papir je književno delo. Možda sam ja staromodan, ali ne mislim da je to tako. Ako ćemo da pričamo o literarnom talentu i nekome ko očigledno svoje pisanje shvata veoma ozbiljno i razmišlja i piše kao pisac, onda je to sigurno taj čovjek. Ja sam čitao Sjećanje šume možda pre godinu dana i sad sam pročitao sjajno mjesto za nesreću, stariji njegov roman. Sad ima i novi neki, vidim, prevelik kontroverze sa njim po lici Hrvatskoj, budi se tamo da to trebamo ponovno napiše da nije to dobro napisao. To je pravi pisac i njega bih preporučio svakome. Od domaćih imena, ovo što si ti pomenula je zapravo, ne znam da li je generalno tačno, ali u mom slučaju jeste tačno. Ja ne čitam zapravo prevodnu književnost, nego kao neko ko je studirao engleski i barata njime, zapravo čitam sve što je na engleskom, čitam originalu, ne čitam čak ni prevode. Prevode čitam samo...
Pa i govorite na engleskom, ja se izvinjam, ali gosti vas ne razumeju.
Pa, u suštini govorim vama, a ne gostinu. S gostinu ću ja posle popiti piće. Maybe I should repeat all this that I've said tonight in English. Oh, but the sound mixer has something against that.
Those are your guests, so...
Nije problem samo u tome što nemamo dovoljno vremena i onda da ne bismo ponavljali duplo.
But I'm sure that everybody here speaks.
How are you sure about that?
I'm not so sure. So,
yeah, but he doesn't, and he's really important to us.
Tako da neću da dalje ne igropujem, ali eto, pak sam dao jedno ime.
Okay. Question for you. Yeah. What is the percentage of people in Serbia, statistically, who read books for more than 4 per year? Do you know any stats about that? How big is the market of the book? Out of curiosity now, since you have no clue.
Well, I'm not really sure. We don't have. I'm not really sure if there are anything.
Less than 50%.
Yeah, probably. Well, of course. Yeah.
No, but it was less. There was big.
It would be 10. It's also less.
Because that really says a lot about book industry, if we want to put it as industry, because it's not. It is interesting in economic terms, but it's something else. Greeks, statistically proven, more than 4 books per year, only the 8% of Greeks read. Yeah, per year. Yeah, I think you're better. And it's not far away in France,
I don't think we're better than that. Now I'm fulfilling her wish, I'm speaking in doing the same. I think that we don't have statistics on that, because the only statistics that we can have is number of sold copies, but that doesn't say anything, because people buy books but they don't read them. It's an object that it's a gift for birthday. Yeah, older people. I haven't seen library on the inside for the last 28 years.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kalja. Thank you, Vali, again. That would be all. Može.
Just the question is, you mentioned that there are genuine, authentic writers in Malta, and there are 15. I think you said, but there are also some of them that they are parachute writers. I would like to know, what do you mean by parachute writers? Who are those writers? Because I ask that because here in Serbia we have a lot of, let's say, underground writers. For example, we have slam poetry. We have clubs where slam poetry is read, and they are great writers that haven't published anything by now, but they're great as well. So I would just like to know who are those writers that you perceive and that you define as unauthentic parachute writers, that are not real, let's say.
I mean, if you are a person of literature, when you get a book after 5 pages, you would realize whether an authentic literature or not. I would say half of writers in Malta, and I don't like to use that word, but I'm afraid I have to. They are called pseudo-writers, which means they, believe it or not, they sell more than genuine writers. They write sort of, okay, sort of, okay, not profound literature. They don't address your mind, they don't address your intelligence. So I would say they are more sort of like entertainers rather than writers. Because, okay, writing is not only about entertainment. It is not only about entertainment. There should be a message, a deep, profound message in what you write. But I found out that silly books talking about silly things, they sell much more than serious work. And this is a phenomenon not only limited, restricted to Malta. It's sort of a global. If you write a book, sort of, if you fill it with sexual scenes and things like that, it could really sell more than something addressing a very delicate or sensitive issue, because after all, somebody must speak about these certain things. I mean, not taboo things, but things which are influencing the daily life of people. So the function of the writer is not to alienate the reader, but to bring him to realize certain things which are happening. In this context, we have very few profound writers. I make a difference between a normal writer who is telling chronicles or sort of, and between a thinker writer. a writer who can make dilation while he is writing. He can force you to think. He stimulates your brain ability even after you shut the book, close the book. You keep asking yourself big questions. And of course, this is not any writer. Not any writer can impose this intellectual sort of on your mind. Sometimes you read books, how do you call them, beach books? The books you read on the beach while staying in sunbathing or something. This I call it, yes, cheap literature. I mean, not like when you are addressing something which is really affecting the society, affecting their daily life. And I believe that after or at the end, a writer who doesn't have a social message or a social, let's say, a social vision, I don't think he is a true writer. Because anyone can sit down and write any stuff.
Funny note, I'm not going to talk about parachute writers and all that. I'm just going to say one funny thing. It's always interesting being a screenwriter and writer. When they ask me at places, parties, where you go, it's like, so what do you do? And I say, well, I'm a writer, a student writer, and the first thing you hear is like, oh, I want to write a book as well, or I have an idea for a screenplay, but I don't have time, you know. And then it's all falling apart, you being a writer and a screenwriter. It happens all the time. It's how serious, you know, they take us, you know.
Da li možda neko ima još neko pitanje iz publike? Nema? Dobro je, tonac će da bude zadovoljan. Ok, ništa, ja samo želim da vam se zahvalim svima što ste došli na prvi, moram to da naglasim, prvi festival Nagrade Evropske unije za književnost. Želim da se zahvalim Darku što nam se pridružio, da malo čujemo nešto i o našim pitima koji su dobili ovu nagradu i naravno gostima koji su već 2 dana ovde sa nama. Thank you Valid and thank you Kalja once again. To bi bilo to. Samo bih da vas podsjetim da je u toku još malo mini